Welcome to Sabil Center. Assalamu alaikum. We are very pleased and honored to host the American Quran Project at Sabil Center. Tomorrow night is the opening night, July 14, 2018. Why is it called the American Quran? Because it's the work of an American artist based in LA, Sendao Burke, and it's his ideas based on his research over a 10-year-long period. This exhibit is something we are loaning from Catherine Clark Gallery in San Francisco, and it has 11 surahs. Even though Sendao has done all 114 surahs of the Quran, only 11 are available at this point in a set. So we are happy to host those. These surahs are arranged at Sabil Center as a function of the wall space we have and the number of panels in each surah. The first one we have on the left side of the conference hall is Surah 28, Al-Qasas, the story. This surah signifies the transitory nature of this world compared to the life hereafter. According to Sendao, the entire American Quran Project, one of the aims of the project is to take a religious text unfamiliar to most Americans and place it into the context of daily American life. In some instances, that means that the image might be a metaphor for something being described in the text, but not always necessarily. In this surah, there's a scene of a gardener, a police investigation, ruins of Oklahoma Federal Building. The passages discuss the judgment of God and reminders of the cities in the past. 49, Al-Hujurat, the private apartments. The purpose of the surah is to give Muslims instructions about social mannerism and guidelines to make a peaceful and harmonious society. Specifically, racial distinctions that typically cause corruption are being condemned. Throughout the project, Sendao Burke intentionally avoided depicting people or places that are thought of as specifically Islamic. The overall intention was to attempt to make the Quran seem as less foreign to average Americans as possible, and to convey that the message of the Quran is meant for all human beings, not just those who are already Muslims. Hence, the proper title of the project could have been The Quran for Americans, but that's a little mouthful and doesn't read so nicely. However, in this surah, Sendao wanted to depict the suburb of Detroit and to acknowledge that this is perhaps the most Islamic of all American cities. There is a picture of a mosque on the right side of the image. The house on the left is Sendao's childhood home before he moved to California as a child. 45, Al-Jathiya, the kneeling. The 2 pages of the surah depict a panoramic street scene in New York. Much of the project aims to wrestle with the conflicting aspects of our daily lives and our spiritual lives as we go about our daily routines. On the first page, we see a group of Jews outside a synagogue, along with a passage from the Quran that says, "To the children of Israel, we gave the book and wisdom and the gift of prophecy, and we provided them with good things and favored them above all peoples." The image carries across to the following page spread, in which people are entering the subway and listening to their headphones as they walk along the street. To me, there is a symbolism here. The symbolism of headphones may be that the divine messages in the Quran are addressed to individuals for all time, and that like a headphone, one can pick them up at any time. Al-Fajr, the dawn. The surah takes its name from its very first verse, by the dawn. Here the artist paints what an ordinary American is likely to observe at dawn on any typical day. A scene of a daybreak in an American suburb, with the sky lightening, and a garbage truck picking up trash, and a newspaper on the lawn. Hud, the images in American Quran are meant to represent contemporary life in the US and include images from all of the states and places where American troops were in action. In Surah 11, the imagery depicts an orchard, a man building a canoe, and a ship aground that accompany passages about Noah and his ark. The final image is of the ruins of an earthquake, which reminds us that Lord can punish as well as reward. Surah 57, Al-Hadid, iron. The surah takes its name from verse 25. We sent down iron. The 3 pages in the surah depict the mundane aspects of contemporary life, as in many other panels. There's a scene of workers in office cubicles, a scene of workers at lunch in a sushi restaurant, and a scene of a parking lot. The images are depicted in a flattened perspective, meant to imitate the style of painting of traditional Persian miniature paintings, in which all the people are of the same scale and the land seems tilted. The messages go along with the passage in verse 20. Know that the life of this world is but diversion and distraction and show, the cause of boasting and greed and striving for more and more property and children. Surah 58, Al-Mujadala, she who disputes. The surah talks about an unjust social custom in 7th century Arabia, in which husbands often oppress their wives and effectively divorce them, but would not separate from her, and she didn't have the rights. The rights of women, according to the Quran, need to be protected, and this custom was condemned in the surah. However, Sandow depicts a laundromat and people reading and looking at their cell phones while clothes are washed and dried. For him, going to the laundromat was the absolute worst thing in life, and he wanted to depict the banality of it. It accompanies passages about Judgment Day and the afterlife, things of such importance to internal lives, while we go about boring tasks. The sign on the window of free Wi-Fi suggests the way messages are received from the sky as if being sent down by the heavens. Saba, Sheba. This is a 2-page surah that also covers many varied topics throughout its text. The first page is an image of a science lab with technicians working, an image related to verse 3, which reads, not so much as a particle, either in the heavens or in the earth, escapes him. They're nothing smaller than that or anything larger, which is not in the book. The image on the second page refers to moments farthest from the contemplation of religious matters. However, it is just these moments which make up life and which are cited as moments when God consciousness is there. Surah 34, Saba or Sheba. This is a 2-page surah that also covers many varied topics through its text. The first page is an image of a science lab and technicians working there. An image related to verse 3, which reads, not so much as a particle, either in the heavens or in the earth, escapes him. They are nothing smaller than that or anything larger, which is not in the book. The image on the second page refers to the day-to-day elements of life in America, particularly those which might seem moments farthest from the contemplation of religious matters. However, it is just those moments which make up life and which are cited as moments when God is present. Fatir, the originator. The surah takes its name from its title, which describes God as the originator of the heavens and the earth in the first verse. According to Sandow, although it's not readily apparent, the 2 scenes in the surah are meant to depict everyday events in life and are set in Chicago. Note the Sears Tower in the distance, center distance of the auto repair shop in the second panel. The passage refers to the winds that raise the clouds aloft, and no female gives birth without his knowledge. The inset on the first page is of a child being born, done shortly after the birth of Sandow's own daughter. The other scene of the car shop is meant to convey the mundane aspects of our lives, yet even while we go about our daily routines, we should ponder the afterlife. The inset on the second page is of a sea turtle, which accompanies the passage, he would not leave a single creature on the surface of the earth. Surah 19, Maryam or Mary, which is named for the mother of Prophet Jesus in the Quran, and is the only surah named after a female figure and the only woman mentioned by name in the Quran. Obviously, Mary represents a unique connection between the 3 monotheistic faiths. This is a 3-panel surah depicting a corner bakery, corner grocery store in a Hispanic neighborhood with the mural of the Virgin of Guadalupe that accompanies passages about Mary. The other two pages depict different churches that illustrate passages about those who worship others. Al-Baqarah, the cow, named because of the cow mentioned in verse 67. This is the largest surah in the Quran. According to Sandow, much of the Quran is metaphor and parable. Throughout the project, the images depicted here are metaphors for the messages of the text, sometimes in obvious ways, such as scenes of farms and markets in passages that talk of the bounty of food and water provided by the Lord, and sometimes more obscure. Among the images on these pages are a campfire, a funeral, which reminds us of the fleetingness, a wedding, which accompanies passages about wives and daughters, and a homeless person, which reminds us to be caring and give alms. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, everything has a zenith, and the zenith of the Quran is Surah Al-Baqarah. Holding it is a blessing. This is something that you will see at the beginning of the exhibit. As you move up to the stairs to the conference hall on the second floor of Seville Center, you're going to come across this mihrab, a ceramic tile made by Elise, Sandow's wife, who is an artist in her own right. She has depicted two verses from the Quran. The first one is, patience is the best course, Surah 16, verse 126, followed by, be modest in your bearing, Surah 31, verse 19. Ladies and gentlemen, friends of Seville Center, we hope you are as excited about this exhibit as we have been for the past several months. This is something very unique in Chicago and a unique exhibit about the Quran. It's not a Quran exhibit per se though. It is an artwork and an art exhibit. We look forward to receiving you at the opening night, and after the opening night, the exhibit will be here for about 2.5 months till late September. There will be well over 40 opportunities for you to come see this show throughout the week. Thank you very much and look forward to seeing you all.